So I thought I would talk a little about these books that I've been reading. And I guess we'll start with Waking the Dead by John Eldridge. He kind of bases the entire book on this saying, this quote by Saint Irenaeus, I think is how you pronounce it. And it goes like this: "The glory of God is man fully alive." And that is absolutely phenomenal. When I started reading this book and saw that quote, I was like, whoa! Because it's so right. And then at the beginning of each chapter, he usually has two quotes. And so for chapter 1, it's, again, kind of two quotes that he bases the book on. There's John 10:10. "The thief comes only to steal, to kill, and destroy. I have come that you may have life and have it to the full." And then this other quote by Leif Enger says, "We in the world, my children, will always be at war. Retreat is impossible. Arm yourselves." And now, of course, I didn't know it when I first started reading this book, but this entire book is about how we are at war. We're at war. The enemy wants to steal our joy, kill our hearts, and destroy our lives. That's basically it. And I've always known that we were at war, but to my great shame, I never took it as seriously as I am now. These books have really woken me up. But anyway, so let me see here. Throughout the book, he goes into some of the ways in which we have, and ways in which our hearts have been destroyed and attacked. Some of the ways in which we are wounded, and then how the enemy uses those wounds against us. And he spends probably the first half of the book basically laying out his thesis that we are at war, and trying to convince us that we really are. Now, granted, it didn't take long to convince me, so I spent half the book going yep, totally yep. But for other folks, it may take the whole half of the book to convince them. But he does an absolutely spectacular job. My two favorite chapters, Chapter 5 and Chapter 7. After Chapter 7, he starts to get into how to go about healing. In particular, one of his statements, kind of a foundational statement, is that in the process of being wounded, we make agreements with these lies that these wounds tell us. And when we do that, we put our own heart in prison. And he gives a whole bunch of examples of that. And I know this to be true of myself. Because I can trace a lot of the issues that I've had through my heart and the lies that I chose to believe. And I suppose I'm in a place now to understand that because of the 20 years, 24, 25 years of work that God has been doing on me. And I suppose it may not have taken that much time had I gotten help. had I read books like this, had I maybe gone and talked to someone about it. But regardless, I am in a place now where I can see that very clearly. But another thing I really enjoy about this book is he uses examples and like snippets from popular like really popular movies, like Lord of the Rings. He quotes Lord of the Rings a lot. He talks about Cinderella. Another one of his favorites is I can see it, Matrix. Yeah, so he quotes from Matrix. Anyway, he makes it really fun. It's great. But one of the other things is that he talks in this book about conversations that he has with God. And chapter 5 and chapter 7 are my two favorite chapters because I basically cried through both of those chapters. And I see in the way that he presents this story, I see a very, very similar relationship that he is with God, and the way that he talks to God, the way that God talks to him. It's almost identical to my relationship with God, and so that really got me. And he quotes C.S. Lewis a lot too, specifically Chronicles of Narnia. Let's see here. Anyway, this book is just absolutely... I can't even tell you. I can't even explain what this book did for me. So that's Waking the Dead by John Eldridge. Again, he wrote that basically for everyone.